Well, Josh, on staying on the note of Logan Sargeant here for a little bit, I want to look forward to 2023. What do you think he can accomplish with a Williams team that has, of course, wins and championships in their past, but in recent years has really been down towards the bottom of the grid?
Well, the good thing is we discussed this a little bit yesterday as well. Williams are on the up, which is a brilliant sign as well. We've seen three great performances this year by three different drivers in the Williams team. De Vries with the incredible ninth place at Monza as well, showing that even you can just come into the car straight away and have the development and have the pace. So it's a very quick car, which is good. Albon was constantly performing throughout the year as well in the top tens, the highest point scorer. And then Latifi managed to get 2 points as well in that rain-soaked Japan. But Latifi, as you can tell throughout the year, was the weakest link of that Williams team, has been since 2021. He did okay in 2020. 2021, there's no exception as being a rookie. He suffered there. And 2022, he really has suffered. So that's why he's gone. And I think with coming in Logan Sargeant, we've got another fast, aggressive driver, a Williams team that's on the up and is rebuilding itself. They've got two young drivers who are capable of podiums, who are going to be fighting in the mid-pack hard. I think they could be fighting Haas in the Constructors' Championship. And I'm hoping to see Williams regulars inside the top 10 in the points. And hopefully, it's not out of the realms, stealing a couple of podiums throughout the year at some rain-affected races like we saw unusual teams getting podiums this year. Only once, I think, with McLaren, they got a podium, and Emilia-Romagna. The rest of them were the top three teams. But remember, next year, everything closes down. Red Bull have got the penalty on the cost cap, losing 80% of their aero time, 70% because of their Constructors' Championship, then another 10% for the penalty with the cost cap. Ferrari already had a great car, just got to develop on this and get the strategy right. Mercedes have finally fixed their car as well. We've seen that the past couple of races, so they're going to be strong again. Alpine have got two new young drivers as well that are going to focus and improve on their car. AlphaTauri have got Nick De Vries, who's going to bring some Mercedes secret over to the team as well, so they're going to improve. Yuki Tsunoda, new teammate as well. He'll want to go out for best of the rest. Aston Martin are going to suffer as well, I'm sorry to say, but Alonso, he'll try and drag them and rebuild them in his own image, as we've seen them do. But with Lance Stroll there, they're going to suffer. Then we're going to see Alfa Romeo pretty much have a normal year. Bottas constantly in the top 9 or top 8 as well, struggling. Zhou will have his day occasionally, but still a learning curve there. And we'll see Williams versus Haas again. Haas now with Nico Hülkenberg and Kevin Magnussen, an experienced lineup, but Magnussen's got more podiums because Hülkenberg's got none, so why he's coming, I don't know. That's going to be a struggle next year, I feel, for them. So Williams are the best-looking midfield team alongside the likes of Alpine and AlphaTauri to really improve. So that's a brilliant look for Sargeant to go into the Williams team next year. It does look better, and already next year looks competitive.
So thinking low mid tier esque, even on a normal track condition kind of day.
Yeah, I'm thinking that they'll be positioning around about 12 to 13 on a normal day, and then they can break through with good pit stops into the top 10. And on a rainy day, they could be battling top 5 and definitely for some podiums as well. Do not count them out. I've seen their development already for next year, and they've changed so much from the 2022 car, but all in the right direction. It looks fantastic. So Williams are definitely on the up, and they're with having more money as well. With getting, 8 points from the Constructors' Championship. They get money there by scoring points. They also get more money from the cost cap being slightly extended next year, because this year it was cut down for the credit crunch. Next year it's opened up then, so they get more money to spend in as well. It's going to be helping them a lot with their development.
It's exciting times.
Yeah. Well, Brandon, I guess I'll pass a follow-up on to you here. We look at Sargeant and being at a team that, like we mentioned, hasn't had too much success in recent years. We talked about this on the wrap-up show yesterday. Do you think that with him not being at a top team, some Americans that might be brought in to the sport, if let's say he were in a Mercedes or a Ferrari or a Red Bull, they might look at him running towards the back of the pack with the Williams and maybe not be as interested in having an American on the grid as they might be if he was with one of the top 3 teams?
That could be a factor as far as the happy-go-lucky U.S. fan. Whenever they look at Formula One, they think Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull especially. And so that as far as branding aspects, this will be probably a huge year for Williams to expand into the U.S. market. I mean, they're going to have the American driver, but I mean, really, it's going to. I think right now, if you took a casual survey, the average Formula One fan in the U.S. probably knows those major top tier teams, and then Williams, they may or may not know. You might have to get a more devoted fan or someone who's in the smaller circle. But yeah, I think this is going to be a big brand recognition as well for the driver. I think it will be a struggle maybe for the first year for people to latch onto it, but they might make a lot of Williams fans with Sargeant as their half guy.
Yeah, well, I said on the wrap-up show yesterday that, comparing it to Rossi in 2015, that was a part-time basis for only 5 races. He lost out on the 2016 seat to Rio Harriento, and we can maybe talk about that dynamic here in a second, because I know somebody that finished ahead of Sargeant and won the championship in F2 this year is not going to be on the grid. We'll get to that here in a few minutes. But, with Williams, they have the history, and I think they have a higher ceiling that they can claw their way back to, maybe not just in one season, but when you look at what Rossi was faced with Manor, the only way he was going to score points is if a couple of guys ahead of him at the crazy rain-affected U.S. Grand Prix that year had retired. There was basically nothing he could do. I mean, you could put Lewis Hamilton into a Manor or Vettel or Verstappen or any of those guys. They might be a couple of tenths of a second faster, but they were never going to, take that car to wins or podiums either. Whereas Williams here, while they haven't had the recent success, I think they have the capabilities to move up and have a brighter future ahead of them than Rossi would have had, even if he had gotten the Manor seat in 2016. So we'll definitely keep our eyes on that. Hey everyone, I'm Ben Schneider. Thank you so much for watching. Before you go, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Grid Network highlights and analysis. And for full episodes of Grid Live Encore and other Grid programming, subscribe directly to Grid Network.